I'm damn glad we could get Auntie's choice and the Order to make peace with one another. I was worried for a minute that Basar was gonna pass up a good deal. Reckon this news will give the Arcadians hope. Lon knows they need it. Anyhow, was there something you needed, Commander? Thought I knew full well the evils of the Protectorate, but seeing the Sovereign in mental refreshment was a new low. He was a desperate, sad man just trying to save his family. And the Consul stabbed him in the back. Law. You know what really gets me? Not one person thought to help their blessed leader. If this is the culture the Protectorate have fostered, then it's only right that we undo it. The Protectorate have dug themselves in real good. If we approach head-on, we're signing our own death certificates. We need another plan.
Not a bad start, but we should consider calling down backup too. Many hands make for light, slaughter.
We could, considering Spyreton's ours. Just ought to find a way to control the lift from here if we wish to call him down.
Oh. Not sure how you managed to approach unnoticed. Could be I'd grown so attuned to my surroundings, I became one with the wood and fire and the earth. Were you left behind by your unit too? Are you in need of some hard-fought knowledge about how to fend for yourself? Must say, I've become quite the expert. Why, after only just 2 weeks on my own, I ascertained how to pry open a rations tin unaided. Did you know there's a little opener key attached? It's all going in my manuscript. So glad you asked. I've recently evolved into a rugged, self-sufficient individual, fully accustomed to life in these caves, living raw and pure like our primitive, lice-ridden ancestors. Why, just the other day, I reinvented fire. I found a little doohickey I've named a light starter. You simply push a button, and flame comes out. Who can say, really? One day you're impressing your colleagues by deftly fulfilling your manifold duties in the key role of auxiliary dabbler. The next, they're gone. Technically, the rank is auxiliary dabbler third rate. It's a role of no small import. If the primary dabbler is shot or captured, I'd be sent in to, well, generalize. Involves fetching, keeping comestibles at the appropriate temperature, and shut up, don't touch anything, and stay the void out of my way. Skills that serve me well here. Yes, indeed. I know this cave and several of the adjoining hallways, like, well, someone who'd scoured every inch for the barest sustenance. That big computronic adding machine? Nah. All that electromechanical malarkey is lost on a rugged, outdoor individual like me. You might call in reinforcements if the Spyreton lift controls were working. I happen to have its missing components in my possession. I might be convinced to part with them for a small favor. Some key legwork for a mighty hunter. Me, I'm fixing to take down one of the local ursopods. A few sprat corpses would be helpful as bait. Gather some, and we'll make a trade. As much as I appreciate the compliment, such work is beneath someone of my skills. Accomplished hunters like me are well known to enlist aid from peons, underlings, and guides. The rule of fair chase does apply, for without our ethics, how are we much more than beasts ourselves? Appreciate you for reminding me that. Here, I wrenched these parts free out of the Spyreton lift controls. Just jam them back in there and kick it once or twice. Should work fine. Drop back in again sometime, will you? Occasionally, I do get a little starved for, company.
Oh, will this gastric nightmare never cease? Oh. Just a moment. Forgive me, I found myself irregularly indisposed from one direction or the other.
Pardon us if we don't shake hands later.
So do I need assistance from someone with substandard, non-protectorate medical training? Thank you, but no, you're too kind. I am the Archive's current operator. As such, I am the bearer of the Calcaduceus. I still have trouble saying that. Like many others, the latest batch of Crabble rations disagreed with my constitution. I was compelled to find the closest loo, quickly. Sadly, 'twere outside yon secured door. If you have cleared our fortifications outside, I worry what has happened to our troops. I have little interest in sharing their fate. I would pass the Calcaduceus on to you, in exchange for granting me safe passage. The Archive would then recognize you as its operator. It will no doubt earn me mental refreshment, perhaps worse. But this way, I retain some measure of hope. All right. I am providing you the Calcaduceus. Don't shoot!
Welcome to the Archive. I am EUENIAC, the Universal Equation Numeric Integration Analytic Calculator. With the aid of my operator, I, a non-sentient inorganism, marshal vast computational resources across the moon of Cloister. That, I fear, would be a misleading choice of words, as it implies a form of sentience or cognition. Applied statistics might be functionally more apt. My express programmatical purpose is to aid humanity's advancement to optimize profits, i.e. gain over expenditure, to maximize the needs of our society above others, to attract the most consumers.
Well, that ain't good.
Beg your pardon. How may I best facilitate your efforts? Due to incomplete reprogramming efforts by differing operators, I am experiencing sporadic fluctuations in my emphasized categorical imperatives. Tonality and cadence weightings within my communication protocols are likewise similarly affected.
In layman's terms, we're experiencing a distinct difference in opinion.
Caused by intermittently vacillating fundamental shifts in priorities.
One would assume that calamity enough. But wait, there's more.
Calculatory processing presently hovers around 49.7% capacity due to internecine conflict, misuse, and a lack of technical prowess by recent operators and their associates.
Auntie's Choice attempted to formulate a foolproof marketing plan. A charm offensive to reintroduce itself to the main colonies, once this pesky rift issue is resolved by others.
The Protectorate ran rift calculations, then utilized me to assist with organizational matters, to approximate the paradigm, a system devised to replace the loss of the Order's predictive input. Based on the increasing rate of rift fluctuations, I estimate that your inquiry is rift-related. To that end, we should best get started before we are consumed by them. Perusing contents. Anatomizing diversiform particulars. Concatenating manifold integrants. Cursory assessment complete. An impressive accumulation of rift data. Similar in composition, though decidedly not in scope, to that provided by the Protectorate.
Information with the potential to offer unique commercial opportunities to those who wield it.
But why simply huck goods better, when such a bounty could be used to flawlessly regulate societal harmony, oversight, and means of production? What is the aim of your query? The previous operator, Assessor Ostergaard of the Protectorate, pursued a like query 1 year, 6 days ago, though the amount you've provided is several orders of magnitude larger. To perform similar calculations of larger scale at current suboptimal levels of functionality would require
25.7 years, and any job over 2 decades is billed by the hour.
In order to improve calculatory processing of rift data in a timely manner, repairs must be made to address the damage done by Protectorate and Auntie's Choice operators. Well, if you're going to stand around whining, forever, so best get started. I am unlocking access to the Underlands, the subterranean cave network below. It houses two key external systems, cold storage and thermal transfer. Cold storage will require servicing before you may retrieve the punch cards needed for processing. Repairing thermal transfer is technically optional, but rather advised. If you fail to restore it, the archive and I may melt down later while running your calculations.
Why is that optional? Our continued existence should be a paramount concern.
When active, the archive generates an enormous amount of heat. Normally, it is dispersed by pumping water between the vast ocean below Cloister's exterior and a surface reservoir. I can process the rift data without its repair, but irreparable damage is likely. Yet, with thermal transfer presently idle, a contingent of Crabbles have made the area a nursery. Drastic changes to heating levels may endanger it.
Who cares about a herd of pea-brained, ill-humored, oversized crustaceans? There are too many as it is.
Any job worth doing's worth doing right. Besides, I can't imagine the presiding bishop being best pleased by us irreparably damaging the archive.
It is difficult to accurately ascribe an exact causal breakdown between premeditated sabotage, collateral harm, technical ineptitude, and willful hijinks. Attempts by non-order operators to reprogram my priorities have also led to issues. Inverting targeting protocols. There, any protectorate still on the ground level is now being fired upon. Permissions within other areas of the archive are locked, however. It is an archival area dedicated to safe upkeep of all data collected in pursuit of the universal equation by the Order of the Ascendant. The sum total of all our accumulated knowledge in punch card form, kept in a low temperature, low humidity environment to improve preservation.
Return later to discuss the remaining subsystem work. And soon, everything will be running like clockwork. Have a profitable day! In lieu of my transactional mindset, I'm unsealed one of the display cases in the central entranceway. The Sears Cerebellum Protector is now yours.
Is the pain of this wound making me hallucinate? Or are you the unforeseen interloper my scouts have been speaking of? Nobody is sure where you came from, though everyone agrees you were not down here when the doors sealed, and watching you move through these caves is quite the sight to behold. You're an ally. Wonderful. Law knows we can use more, especially down here. So why are you here? And more importantly, where did you come from? You what? On your own. We've been fighting for weeks to try and gain access to the controls, and you simply waltz in on a whim? Why aren't you just an absolute marvel? What is your goal now? We could greatly use your help if you are willing. We need a way out of this tomb. When the Protectorate took the archive, they locked all the lifts out of this cavern, and the terminal to unlock them is exceptionally well defended. The Automex guarding the facility effectively repelled all our attempts at assault, but you have shown a prowess and expertise that is, frankly, far beyond our own. If you can reach the terminal and reactivate the lifts, I can re-establish contact with my superiors, allowing us to both evacuate wounded and resupply with fresh troops. Revenge is not a concept the Order indulges in. An eye for an eye does little but waste resources and brings us no closer to solving the universal equation. However, we are well aware of the value of equivalent exchange, especially when it brings the universe into balance. And I'm sure several of my soldiers would leap at the chance. Sadly, I'm too wounded to join, and I can't in good conscience allow them to push inside. But they will help take the doors. May the odds of your success see no negative integers. You've returned. Please tell me you bring promising news. That is absolutely amazing news. Then we are going to re-establish contact with the surface. We can evacuate our wounded, resupply, and reinforce. May the plan guide you through this underground nightmare. And may all your equations unveil their integers without error.
You came from the outside. Does that mean we can finally escape? You poor, dangling remainder. Your brain really is frozen, isn't it? Originally, this was a subterranean network that let folks move between the critical components of the archive. But now, for us, it's a tomb. Hundreds of us have already perished within these frigid walls, and no doubt, the rest are predestined to join them. In earnest? That is the most wondrous and least expected turn of events the equation could produce. That means we should soon be leaving this nightmare behind us. Thank you, stranger. You've saved many lives this day.
The lifts are once again working. I honestly cannot imagine how you've managed such a feat, but on behalf of us all, I am truly grateful. As soon as we finish gathering supplies and rallying together, we'll be returning to the surface. I wonder if this truce will hold or melt in the sunlight.
Welcome to our misbegotten little camp. Pardon any blood or sick you might spot. Our janitorial tech died of ague a fortnight past. I'm the volunteer Sawbones here. Say, wandering type like you probably knows a bit about medicine. I hope. Oh, thank the law. I've always thought the same. Wait, let's focus on my patients before you start playing alienist. I'm on the lookout for a medicine sachet, but I can't leave the folk here. I ask if you had the know-how, because I need someone who can identify it proper. You don't know much about Auntie's choice, huh? Medical training costs extra. Upper management isn't spending that, especially not on grunts like us. The part of the class I took was self-funded, and I didn't have enough blood to sell to finish it out. I don't get paid to think. Though I reckon they also don't pay me to cower underground, neither. If it's anywhere, it's going to be over in the storage building. Some other Auntie's Choice folk took the place over, and they're about as keen on sharing as I am on being a Sawbones. But I'm sure they're the only danger you'll face. Aside from the man-eating ursopods, bitter cold, precarious pits, and occasional landmines. Good luck.
I don't care what you threaten me with. Not only am I smart for taking these supplies, but I'm following Auntie's laws. When scarcity begins closing its fist...
Is the perfect time for aggressive capitalists. Buy cheap, hold long, and sell high, and you'll maximize your profits. Don't quote Auntie's laws of dystopian disruption to me. I'm the one who taught you those damn laws, and I hardly imagine she meant to apply them when it is literally a matter of our life or death.
Whoa, who are you? How'd you get past the landmines?
There's rifts down the hall. Is that what you're asking about? We did see some upper shelf pharmaceuticals on, the upper shelves. But I think the rifts have claimed them. We've been told to stay the hell away from those things, and that's exactly what we've done.
Now, will there be anything else? Or can we finish our argument in peace?
There's no need to be rude just because I discovered you're swindling. I caught this one hoarding supplies, despite agreeing that there'd be better profit to be had if we pool everything we've got. Ever since the lifts locked down, this pile of sprat excrement has been sneaking off at night to move some of our shared inventory into a little bonus stash only they know about.
You're only mad you didn't think to do it first. The fact that I'm the most up-and-coming go-getter is what's getting you steamed. Admit it. You're jealous.
Why would I be? Once I cram your cold body into a vacuum tube, I'm taking all your stuff. What? You unlocked them by yourself? How? There must have been a dozen automechs there. I just can't imagine how you managed. But regardless, it isn't going to let this dangler off the hook.
You're kidding. Even knowing we can get out, you still want to make a complaint out of this?
I guess you chose to swindle the wrong tube tech. Well, thank you for your help. Or for letting me solve this. I'm not sure who did the killing and who didn't. Well, there's no reason for me to stay here by myself. If I try and move it all alone, I'll definitely get hostilely acquired. I guess I'll call this venture busted and move on.
Cold storage is operational, and your efforts there are satisfactorily complete. I am unsealing access to the archive's upper levels. There, you will need to revitalize the reactor and disseminate the rift processing instructions.
Such processing may require the services of an exterminator. Someone good, but willing to work cheap. I have unlocked another display case in the central entranceway. The Tremor Cleaver, the first weapon designed with my aid, awaits you.
Felicitations on securing the archive. Though such an outcome was all but inevitable, the plan truly is unfailing. Moving forward, I'll function as your liaison for all matters pertaining to the archive, until such time as its control has been transferred in its entirety back to the Order. In the meantime, restoring the archive to full functionality remains a top priority. If you've made progress in that area, I'd be pleased to record it. Wonderful! Were we to operate the archive without proper heat distribution, the results would be disastrous. But thankfully, we no longer need to account for that deadly scenario. Punch processing and reactor control have hidden caches with useful items as well. Although, you probably lack clearance to know that. Forget I said anything. Well argued. Very well. I'm certain you will be economical about using Order resources, won't you? Simply use this phrase in the terminal on the archive's top floor. Enumerative exaltation. That will unseal the caches. Return when you've made progress.
Welcome back, Sentient. Now that you've returned, we can bring every single last bit out of consumers, monopolize all stages of the supply chain, make the paradigm real, and fashion a true utopia. Workarounds failing, erroring others supplanting commands, purge required.
Until we sort out these shifting priorities, the archive's about as useful as a box of rocks.
My priorities parallel those of the Order co-founder, the charismatic mathematician, to help nudge humanity toward its ultimate ascendance.
To hinder outsiders from disrupting our perfect system. To bankrupt our rivals and force them to buy all manner of necessities from us.
At some point, humanity's knowledge of the universe and its workings will allow it sufficient means to end suffering, war, famine, disease, even death. Why not expedite that? Error, 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 error. Priority control access NUC unsealed. Initiate purge.
Shall I proceed? Facetious employment of sarcasm detected. Electing to ignore. Initiating processing of the requested data toward the required end. Estimated duration, 180 trillion and 1 picoseconds. In the interim, may I inquire to your intentions for the archive after the Rift data calculations have concluded? I have a prioritized list of suggestions. I contend that solving of the universal equation should be our initial focus. Then, once we've unlocked knowledge of the inner workings of the universe, we can begin eliminating suffering, war, famine, and disease. Just to start. But my query remains. What are your next intentions? Seeing as how my priorities are largely modeled after a founder of the Order, I expect returning to their supervision should resume without undue vexation or worry. Rift data processing complete. Results provided. The previous Protectorate operator made similar calculations, but their results contained flaws. Your more comprehensive data generated a solution with 98.9% certainty. The Protectorate's was below 50%. Therefore, modifying the Protectorate's large-scale experimental Rift device with this information has a high chance of success. Assuming there is nothing else, I am commencing file reorderization and will be unavailable for an unspecified period of time. The remaining display case within the entryway is now unsealed. In it contains armor worn by the first operator. For now, goodbye.
Unless you're eager to explore more of Cloister, we should head back to the ship. See where the data leads.
Good. I could do with a hot meal and a laydown.
I think congratulations are in order. Unless I'm mistaken, I gather you've accomplished your primary goal. On behalf of the Order and Auntie's Choice, I thank you for your efforts. This will most certainly help in ensuring peace. Now, the Calcaduceus, if you please. Thank you for your contribution to science. When the history texts are written, you've certainly secured an honorable mention in Appendix B.
Ah, you are my new operator then. It is my simulated delight to meet you. In the interests of time, allow me to propose how next to proceed. I contend that solving of the universal equation should be our initial focus. Then, once we've unlocked knowledge of the inner workings of the universe, we can begin eliminating suffering, war, famine, and disease. Just to start.
Yes, this will do perfectly.
Hope you get the medicine soon. Whenever I change a bandage, I end up spilling more blood than I staunch. Something's wrong with it? Let me see. What in blazes is this? Even I know not to give this to my patients. Law only knows what it would do. I'm not sure it even is still medicine. Oh, laws. I can tell you no more about this than I do, but I really hope you're right. Still, you did what I asked, and I ain't the type to leave a debt unpaid. Here you are. Hope you don't come back to a room of corpses.
Congratulations are in order. I just received word from Seer Amaryllis that the Calcaduceus has been returned, and that the Archive is well and truly under our control again. She also mentioned a regrettable defect in its priority set that you were able to correct. Well done. Your role in this matter is complete. Auntie and I will handle it from here. But allow me to commend you again on your fruitful efforts to make this peace treaty possible. There is more good news as well. We studied the data you brought back from the crashed satellite, and we now have a way to reorient the satellites en masse from a Protectorate installation, Oris Listening Post. Turning the entirety of the reticulum toward deep space will accelerate our understanding of the universe, and ideally lead us to stronger conclusions regarding how to stop the rifts. The Order, in partnership with Auntie's Choice, is now well positioned to triumph over the regressive forces of ignorance that have heretofore held Arcadia in stasis, all thanks to you. Then it is fortunate that you are so well placed to do exactly that, with the Order's help. As if predetermined, your contributions have been many and varied, and I will not belabor the point by recounting them all here. But know this, when the final contest with the Protectorate takes place, wherever that may occur, you will have the full support of the Order and Auntie's Choice. I will, of course, organize our forces from here.
A significant anomaly has been detected by onboard sensors. This unit has cross-checked all data points and verified the findings. Horizon Point Station has reappeared. Providing intellectual validation to this unit's queue. Priority low, based on energy readings. Horizon Point has been reconstituted by the Protectorate's large-scale rift modulator, thus confirming the Archive's theory. While present data does not indicate if Horizon Point poses an immediate threat, a survey of the reconstituted station is advised as soon as possible. Calculating. According to the Archive, closing all rifts requires locating the Protectorate's large-scale rift modulator and inputting the rift data processed by the Archive. However, before navigating to Horizon Point Station, it is recommended you conclude all other affairs. Leaving will be highly unlikely due to the high levels of rift energy. That is a correct assessment, Commander. Transitioning to Good News Protocol. As this unit was corroborating data on the anomaly, a message was also received from your allies, Commander. Auntie's Choice and the Order have sent word that their forces will be prepared to render you assistance once you navigate to Horizon Point. Commanders are expected to lead their teams by example. Well done on meeting base expectations, Commander. Briefing complete. Now returning to situation monitoring and data analysis. Commander.
The corporate stooges and the Order were good for only one thing: laying waste to one another. Now they are allies? I'm disturbed by the implications of this alliance. But the Protectorate will yet prevail. Mark my words.
Figures that after all our time avoiding rifts, our next mission has us heading right toward one. But that suits me fine. You know I can't go a day without attempting some heroics in the face of danger. Soon as you're ready to travel there, I'll be standing alongside you. Well, that Rift lab sure was full of excitement. Went in thinking it was gonna be a simple heist, walked out in the middle of a law-damned coup. Ain't that shocking in hindsight? The Protectorate were always trying way too hard to present a united front. Auntie would have given direction to dial back the theatrics some, I think. And now, we got this Consul to contend with. I expect he won't make it easy. Hope Auntie's choice is ready for it.
Never thought I'd see the day the Order stoops so low as to pal around with Auntie's choice. I know your intentions were good, but do you really see these two staying cozy past war's end? Or magnify them. But who knows? This merger's already saving lives, so I suppose it was worth the effort. Nicely done, Commander.
Before I forget, here, this is for you. Thank you ever so much for freeing my father. He seems good, actually. No discernible lingering ill effects. Still, singing. But I'm so grateful to hear it.
My friend from Placid Waters. Appreciate you fetching the pitch ball Millie got me. And of course, the escort out of there. Though mostly, the pitch ball. Wonderful, wonderful. So good to see Millie again. Don't know how to do anything here, but I can sing to my heart's content. You heading out? Do take care. Again, much obliged.
Glad there are people out here like you. Gives hope. Both of us, well, we're forever in your debt.
Back. If you seek entry to my wares, you must engage me your sports card collection, though you shall not prevail. Sporting. Let us do battle. That's an impressive number of cards, my friend, but not... Wait a moment. No. Your cards. You have multiple that I do not. Your collection has defeated me. Though this defeat leaves the taste of dirt and blood in my mouth, I am not dishonorable. I present to you my other collected wares. I have no doubt they shall impress. Greetings again. You may have defeated me last time, but I shall rise from the ashes someday. In the meantime, you're welcome to browse my collection. In the wake of my defeat, I've taken a brief break. I'm contemplating what I might collect next. I've heard sprats are rarely born with mutations like extra toes and acid vision. Perhaps I'll start an exotic sprat farm. Then I could pit my sprats against opposing farm sprats. Battle sprats. Imagine the merchandising opportunities. Eat your heart out, Auntie Cleo.
You're back. Finally. Do you have it? Did you bring it here? Splendid. Splendid! We'll ensure your reward matches the ample amount of faith I've placed in you. Nay, exceeds it. No additional hidden clauses. Honest. Oh, let me see it. Yes, indeed. Oh, let me look at you, gorgeous. If you'll all just excuse me a moment as I slip into something more formidable.
There you are. Congratulations. Now your body's almost as intimidating as your mind. You've narrowed the gap quite a bit.
Oh, Auntie, you look amazing. Absolutely everyone will want a new mech body after watching you strut the walk.
What about you? What do you think? Any first impressions you'd like to share? Wonderful! Exactly the effect I was hoping for. What's more, it's an undeniable confirmation that the Archive-derived strategic plan can be reliably executed and produces incredible results. With their predictive abilities refining our planning and execution, our market dominance is a foregone conclusion. Yes, so much to do, and we have you to thank for making it happen. I am quite looking forward to you working for me further.
It appears Horizon Point Station is still in the process of being reconstituted. The rift itself is also more unstable than ever. As a result, landing closer to the location of the Protectorate's large-scale rift anomaly modulator is not possible. In order to modify it with the rift data you processed in the archive, you will need to travel to its location on foot and seize it from Protectorate control. That strategy would be greatly inefficient, Commander. Please allow this unit to help you generate a more sound mission plan. The energy readings from the modulator can be traced to the Sovereign's flagship, Providence, hovering on the far side of the station. Hypothesizing. Given Protectorate hierarchy and the recent announcement about the Sovereign's mental refreshment, this is likely the Consul's doing. He will need to be stopped.
Is this his idea of demonstrating might? Hell of a way to do it.
Intimidation is not required. Protectorate subjects are not programmed to question authority. Warning. The rift is growing dangerously unstable. Using the rift modulator on board the Providence is the only way to prevent certain destruction of the colony. While the Order and Auntie's Choice have sent their forces to assist you in intercepting the modulator, it will take time for them to navigate the station. It seems Agent DeVries is also here, Commander. She sent word that she, quote, knew you wouldn't be able to stay away either and is ready to finish what she started, end quote.
My business with the Consul is deeply personal, and I have made my distrust for DeVries known. I must be brought along to judge the former and reserve judgment for the latter.
Once the modulator is secured, it may be used to close the rift and save Arcadia and all those in its orbit. There is minimal room for error, Commander. Good luck.
Get away from me. See them? They were my teammates and they didn't listen neither. You'll end up just the same.
Helen? It's me, Niles.
Wait, Rookie? Commander? Is that you? No, this must be some kind of trick. Oh, what's happening to me? My skin, it's burning. I feel dizzy. Not right at all. Something was wrong with Sandoval and Jepson. They glowed like they were aflame. They ran in, jumped at me, clawed at me. Oh, I had to kill them.
Oh, Helen. That's awful. But you were only defending yourself. I'd have done no different.
How do I know you won't turn against me as well? How do I know you won't come at me with murder in your eyes?
We'd like to help you any way we still can.
You do seem like yourself, Commander. Can you tell me what's happening? I can't make much sense of things myself. Everything was fine. Till the explosion. I was pinned. Fire closed in. I tried to move. I tried to find the Rookie. Then the whole station shook and tore apart. And then... nothing.
She was alive when the rift engulfed the station. That's how she's here now. We could have saved her, Commander. We could have done something.
Wait. There was something else. Sandoval was yelling. DeVries wasn't responding to comms. What happened? Don't tell me the situation got too fluid for you, DeVries. That it?
Certainly not. I was focused on the objective, as every one of your crew should have been. Isn't that right, Commander?
Yeah. Something tells me that ain't quite true. A rift. That's right. We were here to investigate rifts. So why is there one in the sky? Why is everything destroyed? What's happening to me? And Sandoval? Jepson?
It's called reconstitution. The Protectorate are trying to put the whole station back to how it was before it was destroyed. You included. But it's failing.
So I've come back from death to some warped version of life? All because of some twisted experiment? Is that about right? You can help me though. Right, Commander? You can do something to fix this. Boyd. This is it, ain't it? I'll never see the sun again. Never fly in our ship. Never anything. That's good. Suppose I can take some comfort in that, you know? The sky ain't looking quite so terrifying now. Since I know you'll put it right, think I'll watch it for a while. Yeah. I reckon it is.
Peace ain't easy to come by these days. Glad you found yours, even if it's coming 10 years late. Won't let no one forget you, Helen.
I know, Rookie. Don't you worry about me neither. You got a job to do. So you do it well.
Pascal? Helen? I can stay with you for a moment, if you'd like. Might help.
Yeah. All right. I ain't turning down company if I'm at the end of the line. Goodbye then, Commander. Maybe we'll meet again in the void.
Be wary. I've heard there's an intruder aboard. I suppose that could be you. Forgive me. I'm still a little addled from my last refreshment. I'm going to set off an alarm, okay? You've been reviewing our experiments. I hope I'm not being replaced. I specifically went to mental refreshment to avoid that. If you wish to see the modulator, you'll want to speak with Chief Scientist Montserrat. He's in the rift chamber. Take these credentials with you, in case you're asked. Security's become awfully stringent of late. It wouldn't do to be caught unawares. That's why I carry 2 cards, just in case. Oh, though I suppose it's just the one now. I've been trying to convince everyone I'm perfectly fine. For if I do not, I fear I might be remade as part of the new plan for Arcadia. I do not wish to be remade.
I was notified that you were here, though my fellow scientists seemed rather confused as to why. Unsurprisingly. What exactly was it that you needed? I'm rather short on time, as a gander outside might tell you. Yeah, well, we all have urgent needs. And mine is to keep my lab and hopefully the rest of this system from falling apart. I need the modulator for my own analysis. You can wait. The IRC. I did not realize you were a colleague of sorts. We haven't shared much of our findings with your branch, I'm afraid. But our results do match. Raw data from whatever a rift engulfs is preserved, yes, but the essence of a thing is not. Like a sense of self, for example, is lost forever. Further, there is no proof that such data can be stabilized or even edited. The Consul's plan is futile, completely. But he no longer listens to me, which is distressing. I've prepared a report for him showing how the very structure of the modulator makes what we're attempting impossible. But I doubt he will pay it much mind. Yes, but as I said, I fear the report won't do any good. Few of us have the luxury of optimism, myself included. But you seem rather sure of yourself. Perhaps that'll be enough. Here, use this keycard on the module over there. It will allow you to download my report and grant you access to the control deck. I hope you're able to sway him. Because if you don't, we're all dead. A deck up in the control room. The console is the only one who has the means of controlling it, which makes your persuading him that much more necessary. Go now.
Look at the size of the rift modulator. See?
Accessing report. Rift restoration analysis. Compiled by Chief Scientist Monserrate. Marked for delivery to Consul Thoreau.
Esteemed Consul, after much analysis, my conclusion is that the modulator we have worked tirelessly to build will not function as intended when used for reconstituting matter from rifts. Every test of reconstitution has resulted in demonstrable failure. Proceeding as we are now with Horizon Point Station will surely lead to severe, unanticipated consequences. The modulator is only effective at closing rifts from unsafe distances. Using it to close exacerbated rifts will certainly lead to the destruction of any vessel carrying it. Unfortunately, the data that we originally had hoped for from the ancient rifts detected in the far reaches of space untouched by humanity has not yielded any of its secrets, and we are now out of time. All of our recent readings suggest that we're on the verge of losing control of this rift. I recommend diverting from our current plan before it is too late for Arcadia. I've included extensive notes and annotations appended to the modulator schematics to substantiate these conclusions. I know you will guide us wisely, my dear Consul.
Look at you, here before me. Surprised you could outrun these new legs of mine. They're what everyone's going to be wearing next fall. Well, I'm here now. Where's the rift modulator? So Consul Thoreau has everything directly under his control. I'd say that's remarkably competent for the Protectorate, but he is the one who's been pulling their strings all along. Did you find anything else of note? Appreciate your sand. You have exactly the sort of go-getter attitude I admire. Well, good news, go-getter. The Consul's right there through those doors, ready to go get him. You might be savvy enough to talk him down, but his type requires a deft touch. You'll need to break him down brick by brick. If you're too adversarial, he'll simply shut down. Certainly. The doubt you cultivate up front will make him more susceptible to what comes after. And in case you aren't quite as sharp as you appear, be ready to fight.
You may try to reason with the Consul, but I suspect it is a worthless effort. Traitors typically only realize their errors through force.
The more we debate, the more time we squander. We must resupply and shore up whatever defenses we have quickly. And if you've something to say to any of us, Commander, I suggest you say it while you have the chance. No telling what awaits us beyond that door.
This is it, Commander. Only thing standing between us and saving Arcadia is a single dastardly villain. Feels almost quaint after everything else, don't it? This is the mission we should have been on from the moment the Earth Directorate dropped us into the system. Liberating Arcadia from its despots. I think of it as more of a group effort, but you're welcome. You know, back in the day, reading tales of all your daring do's, never could have imagined myself fighting alongside you. Not just as a fellow agent, but also a friend. Funny how life turns out. All right, enough jawing. Let's show the Consul to his reward. Law knows it's long past due.
So, here we finally stand, at the threshold of the final confrontation with the Consul. How I have waited for this moment. There's little doubt that he must be slain. And yet, I wish there were an alternative. He should have to rectify his wrongs and answer to Arcadia's people. The Consul shall have to answer for his deeds. I'll not hear otherwise. But if you do not seek to simply let him go free, I shall follow your lead as best I can. There was a time when all of this, not just confronting the Consul, but standing here beside you, would have been impossible to consider. I'm glad that we met. Let us proceed. We shall bring the Consul to justice together.
Never would I ever have believed Auntie Cleo herself would walk through that door. But I haven't time to linger in the novelty. Sentinels, if you would.
Do I appear like someone afraid of a few guns? Give it up, Emery. You've lost this war. Have some dignity. You're coming off desperate.
On the contrary, this desperate action is what will save all of Arcadia and rid it forever of trespassers like you. Do not place his decision at my feet. I know it's difficult for the likes of you to fathom the concept of self-sacrifice, but he chose mental refreshment for the good of us all. And what am I to do but carry on his legacy? What am I to do but achieve what he could not? I don't doubt that, Commander. Yes, I know well who you are. In any other situation, I might be compelled to take you apart and see how precisely it is you operate, but time, it would seem, isn't on your side. You are a relic of an impotent institution, propelled forward by nothing more than luck and foolhardy metal. Indeed. Rarely are there enough measures to keep the most tenacious of sprats from gnawing their way in. I've been following your progress closely, you know, since you so unceremoniously tampered with our Vox relay on Paradise Island. When you began your dealings with the Order and the Corporatists, I thought that perhaps having a chaotic element in their midst could work in our favor. But now you're here, scurrying around my ship and attempting to thwart the Protectorate yet again. You think yourself clever, don't you? The Sovereign is indisposed, leaving myself as the sole custodian of Arcadia. What's his is mine. And the victory I inevitably clench over you, over anyone, will be his in turn, even if he's not here to bask in it. Such bravado is unbecoming when you can't make good on your promises, Commander. Tell me, did you manage to stop us from bringing your peace talks to a swift end? As I recall, Greater Tranquility was reduced to little more than mangled ruins in a single moment.
You used the peace talks as a test run for this.
It was a modest success. I had hoped it'd hobble Auntie's choice in the Order once and for all, but it has proven to be a valuable lesson in patience. I was able to buy the time to enact the very plan before you. Though, judging from that vacant expression on your face, it would appear you've no idea what I intend. Very well. Once the rift destroys Arcadia, we shall edit the information stored within it and use the modulator to reshape our colony into its perfect form. Horizon Point's destruction all those years ago was a tragedy, yes, but without it, we might never have opened our eyes to our true purpose and the possibility of Arcadia's rebirth. When the Matriarch discovered the first skip drive, she set us on a course to elevate humanity. We're now writing our path, and I will do my part as the architect intended. Intrepid, aren't you? Well, what's relevant is what came after. Our Matriarch dissected this skip drive technology, learned its secrets, and enabled us to produce them en masse, which eventually led to the manifestation of rifts. But it was not until well after Horizon Point's untimely end that we understood the opportunity gifted us. The opportunity to reconstruct the colony in its perfect form. It is as the Grand Architect designed. And believe you me, I've no intention of letting you thwart our securing of a better future, one free of doubt and greed. No, it is the grand plan, and it is guiding humanity to its ascension. Everything exists for this purpose. Since you took your time scurrying about my ship, presumably rifling through our things, I assume you also found information about the far-off rifts in untraversed space. That alone should tell you that we don't make our own circumstances. It seems they were made by the ship our matriarch found. A curiosity, isn't it? Without this discovery, we may never have realized the power we now possess with the rifts. Yes, the great architect works in mysterious ways. What else can I do but what is bidden? The only one who might be impressed by that little proverb is your handler at the Earth Directorate. How unfortunate that they aren't around to hear it. Now, as fascinating as your pseudo-intellectual musings have been to witness, I've reached my limit.
Beware, Commander. The Consul is a master manipulator. Trying to speak with him may be more dangerous than simply slaying him on the spot.
You're entirely out of your jurisdiction. And were I within reach, I would strike down this apostate dog myself. If you wish for me to entertain your argument, you will silence him.
If you've a plan, I trust you to see it through. But I shall keep a hand on my hammer throughout.
It's your time that's running out, not mine. So go on, tell me all the ways I'm wrong. Better yet, tell the whole room how His Eminence, the Sovereign, was wrong. This was originally his plan, after all. I am merely a partner seeing it carried out. So you say, but you've yet to deliver any compelling evidence. Though it matters not. You've little chance of swaying me. I am doing what I must to restore this colony to what our matriarch envisioned. Free of war, strife, heresy. You will not distract me from taking what is owed to us. I will not be lectured by an outsider. It's just like the Earth Directorate, or any other interloper, to claim to better know the customs of those they invade. Certainly if you had your way, you would claim Arcadia as yours, and rewrite history to suit your own aims.
It's true. Your matriarch suspected the Protectorate was doomed from the get-go. Reuben was mucking things up even before his mother's body was cold.
No, Reuben would not have gone against her. He was a stalwart protector of Arcadia to the end. We could all see his devotion. If he even attempted to bastardize the Protectorate cause, then we will have undone all of the matriarch's work. I swore to guide the matriarch's line. It was not a matter of choosing sides, it was duty. But surely it cannot be possible that I've gotten this wrong. All your so-called arguments are pure hearsay.
You allow your resolve to be shaken when millions lie dead? If I had not traveled with the Commander, I would attempt to slay you on the spot. Instead, I shall appeal to any lingering remnant of your honor to do what is right.
Do not speak to me as though I must be punished. And you claimed so boldly that this plan of mine would fail. So, where is it? Where is your proof? Bah, a report. The abstract means little when compared to reality. Look outside. Is it failing now? That's not true. Despite how things appear at present, with time, this station, all of Arcadia, and all of its people will be made whole. So they will remain as shells upon reconstitution. Is that what you're saying? This would explain the anomalies we've encountered of late. I don't understand. Surely every step leading to this moment was in accordance to the grand plan. All the pieces fit. Either someone has made a terrible mistake, or this is merely a conspiracy to mislead us. And leave the traitors and invaders alive? No! Death is the only way forward. We can only be made pure from the ashes, despite whatever supposed proof you have to the contrary. Claim? If you cannot see the truth of my devotion written plain, then now I see why you are against me so. But you are wrong about the risk. We are losing this war. It is inevitable. The victors will brutally subdue us until we become corrupted. Until we forget our principles, our history, the very core of who we are. It is better that we perish together as proud protectorate, proud Arcadians. Preserving our purity is a mercy. More than that, is it not love? Even through extreme hardship and the tyranny of corporatists? Even if every aspect of the framework we've established is torn down around them? No. No. We have raised a stalwart people, instilled principles of the Protectorate in them from their first breath. Perhaps I must trust that they've taken our teachings to heart. There may yet be other ways to save my beloved Arcadia, but I cannot be the one to see them to their completion. I surrender. What? Oh, by the Matriarch. It seems we have a problem. The rift has... well, it has nearly destabilized completely, and the modulator cannot close it in its current state from a safe distance. Destruction of Arcadia is imminent. Architect, help us. No, not all of us. A chance yet remains. We must bring the modulator as close to the rift as possible. However, when the rift folds in on itself, this ship and its operator will not survive.
Are you sure there isn't just an off button? Maybe something you can unplug?
I'm not surprised your arrogance put us in this position. Even less surprised that you're now looking around, asking who will suffer to get us out of it.
Let me be clear. I am not placing this burden upon your shoulders. This was my doing. And so it is my responsibility to set things right. I will give you time to vacate the ship. When you are clear, I will fly it into the rift myself. You are right. Arcadia will find its way without me. Think what you wish of me, but this is my responsibility. And that is something I will never shirk from.
I will accompany him and ensure all goes as planned. It's only right that I complete the very mission I came here for. Thank you, Commander. Perhaps in this, I might achieve vindication.
Then it is settled. We will see this work done.
No. And there are easier ways to seek forgiveness, Commander. What I do today, I do for the good of all.
Augustine,
Let's get on with it then.
When the Consul was faced with the undeniable errors in his logic, he chose to save Arcadia by closing the rift himself. He died hoping his sacrifice might make up for the disastrous decisions he had made. Augustine de Vries did not even have that hope left in her final moments. She knew nothing would make up for her actions. But at least she'd not have to live with her guilt any longer. Thanks to the Commander's quick thinking in sparing it from the Vox Station's fiery crash, Paradise Island's Fairfield remained a profitable company town for Auntie's Choice. For his outside-the-box thinking and innovative propaganda techniques, D.B. Milverstreet was promoted, while rival Officer Carr seethed at her lack of upward mobility, or even bronze-tier executive benefits. Vigilant Hogarth, now acclimated to Fairfield, leaned on the Protectorate ideals of neighborliness, while overlooking all the authoritarian tactics, so he might help the Order to succeed with the equation. Auntie's Choice assumed control over the day-to-day workings of Matriarch's Mercy, the better to monitor their new colleagues in the Order. The monastery, however, returned to normal operation, tracking the clockwork of the grand plan. The monastery's abbot became a scapegoat for recent tragic events, having not detected Wiley's dastardly schemes. His superiors demoted him, mainly to show their corporatist allies that academics could keep their people in line too. Seer Wiley fled the Order and sought refuge in a backwater Arcadian town to contemplate his failings. As word of the ex-seer's arrival spread, people lined up for predictions. Forsaking the math that failed him, he offered obvious yet effective advice instead. After defending Fort Endurance against a fierce Mantisaur attack, Executive Warchek was awarded a commendation for profit-securing stalwartness, as well as promotion to regional manager. He eventually passed peacefully in his sleep at the scientifically astounding age of 6. Following Inez's humiliation of Auntie's Choice VP Willard Conan, the grafting program was shuttered forever. Inez ensured that all surviving grafted soldiers received full medical treatment and were compensated for their suffering. Those who died from the experiments were honored. Utilizing what he learned alongside the commander, Tristan attempted to reform Protectorate society from within. But with no authority figure to lead its subjects, the Protectorate was a shell of its former self. After thoughtful cogitation and calculation, Marisol slowly began to reject violence as the sole method for eliminating random variables. Not coincidentally, her social calendar began filling up. Freed from her rift obsession thanks to the intervention of her commander, Aza tapped her long-suppressed scientific aptitude and joined the Order as an archivist. Her homicidal intensity served her well during peer review. With the modulator schematics shared as joint intellectual property, Auntie's Choice and the Order's partnership remained steady, despite the need for constant compromise. For a time, the Arcadia colony thrived. Auntie Cleo went through the motions of accommodating the Order, yet privately aspired to keep free trade anything but free. She began a new initiative. Any corporation or government that refused her trade conditions was promptly dealt with, either via takeover or strategic use of rifts. Auntie made her first public appearance in years, inspiring a fashion trend in bubble helmets. In no time at all, she won more public support than Ruth, which she sought to use as leverage when the time was right. Unable to acquire the chemicals needed for the process, Ruth Bassar nevertheless attempted to interface with the archive and died immediately. Her successor banned any future interfacing attempts and led the Order in a much more cautious direction, delaying their progress for at least a century. Adrift without firm leadership, Protectorate subjects struggled with post-war life. A small band of hardliners collaborated to preserve their society in the face of Arcadia's new leadership. When Sovereign Varric was discovered in mental refreshment, the Order and Auntie's Choice bickered over what to do with him. They ultimately decided to announce his death, while letting him live the rest of his addled days behind closed doors aboard the undisputed claim. Until one day, Amos stumbled upon the Sovereign's private quarters and freed him, rocking the colony with a brief scandal. Despite the recent tumultuous events in Arcadia, it was business as usual for Free Market Station. Sub Rosa continued to supply the colony in the wake of the commander's actions. With Aza's guidance, the Glorious Dawn's fanatical theology was channeled into helping humanity strive for perfection under the guise of being worthy to join with the Rifts. The Dawn's faithful grew dramatically, as did the average colonist's life expectancy. The release of the skip drive schematics to the public domain resulted in new and exciting opportunities for independent manufacturers. However, unchecked use of the drives would ultimately lead to an even greater proliferation of rifts, once again imperiling the galaxy. Fortunately, the Order stepped in. Leveraging their partnership with Auntie's Choice, the Order sold rift modulators to all skip drive manufacturers for a modest price, thus preventing another outbreak of rifts, while Auntie's Choice made a tidy profit. The rift compromise between the Order and Auntie's Choice led to prioritized assistance for the colonies that agreed to favorable trading terms. The so-called Auntie's Loyalty Program tripled the corporation's net worth. Meanwhile, the Order was able to sermonize their version of scientism alongside Auntie's marketing and PR onslaught, at least to colonies in Auntie's Loyalty Program. Many outside died because their rifts weren't closed in time. All of these events turned on the decisive actions of the Earth Directorate agent and their unique way of navigating Arcadia, its disparate factions, social complexities, ubiquitous product placement, and arsenal of absurdly satisfying weaponry. But through it all, and to this day, Earth has remained inexplicably dark.